In his near 30-year career in the industry, Seth Rogen has not only grown to be one of the most recognizable comedy stars that we have, but along with his creative partner Evan Goldberg, they have become two of the most successful writers and producers in Hollywood, even starting their own production company. Their latest show, The Studio, which recently wrapped up its first season, is probably the most important project of his career, and just might be his best work ever. According to Seth, there's really one project each decade that defines that portion of their lives. When he and Evan were teenagers, they just watched comedy and tried to get with girls at parties, so they wrote Superbad. In their 20s, they sat around all day smoking weed, wondering why something great wasn't happening to them, so they wrote Pineapple Express. In their 30s, they were at the peak of their fame, but going through evolving relationship changes with their longtime friends, so they made This Is the End. Now in their 40s, they are studio heads and producers, trying to make great art in an industry that is slowly dying, and thus the studio was born. This is the perfect time for this show to be made, not only in the arc of Seth Rogen's career, but in regards to the industry as a whole. This show captures the passion and love for film that has been ushered in by the letterboxed generation, and also the overwhelming sense of fear that has really plagued the industry since the pandemic. They created a beautiful love letter to the film industry and all of the passionate yet delusional people who keep it running. The show romanticizes movie making, with the sets and costumes all painted with old Hollywood gold, but it's still a brilliant satire, using Seth's character's Matt's anxiety as the engine to fuel this show's non-stop laughs. You would think a show with this much to say about the industry would be big, with season-long character arcs and plot lines, but in reality, the comedy always comes first. It has much more in common with Curb Your Enthusiasm than a modern prestige TV show. It's a good old-fashioned sitcom, with each episode being mostly self-contained. But even though the formula is tried and true, nothing about this show is ordinary. I have mixed feelings about Seth, who is a legitimate movie star using his talents and power to make another TV show for a streamer instead of returning to the big screen, but this is straight up one of the best looking and most ambitious TV shows I've ever seen. They really construct every piece of this to look like a movie. Each episode is comprised of a series of oneers that look amazing while capturing the manic, frantic energy of each episode. Each of those oneers averages about 16 takes per shot, and for a fast-paced show like this, that margin of error is very slim. Comedy is all about timing, and in most movies and TV shows, that timing is found in editing. But here it's all happening in real time. The phenomenal cast and guest stars in each episode are able to keep the comedic timing right on cue, while packing physical comedy into the spaces between each joke. This is where it's so beneficial to have Seth as the writer-director, but also as the star. He's able to maneuver each scene and direct with his actions to keep everything on pace and hitting. This really is a culmination of the past 30 years of experience that he and Evan have accumulated. I want to take a moment to rave about how amazing the cast is that they were able to put together. Everybody on screen is going for it at all times, and they all get hilarious moments to shine. Ike Barinholtz is someone who I've always seen in comedies over the years, but Sal Saperstein is the role that he was born to play. Chase Sui Wonders has sort of been a revelation in this. Even though I saw her in Bodies, 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 she holds her own with these legends. Kathryn Hahn plays her role so over the top, but it feels so real at the same time, and Catherine O'Hara expertly plays probably the most emotionally resonant character of the bunch. Each episode features cameos from actors and filmmakers playing exaggerated versions of themselves, and each feels natural and hilarious, feeling like an extension of what they did in This Is the End. The last live-action movie that Seth and Evan wrote and directed together, that Seth starred in, was The Interview back in 2014. That kind of marked the end of the original Apatow run that Seth had with James Franco and those guys. Seth has taken the last decade to become a businessman, starting his houseplant weed business and becoming a powerful and successful producer in Hollywood. The Studio is not only the project that sums up the past decade of where Seth Rogen has gone, but it also was a turning point to show us where he is going. I think the studio might be the best thing that he's ever made, because he's been able to learn from everything that he's done prior. It's already been renewed for a second season, and Seth and Evan said that they already have 20 episode ideas lined up. And aside from the studio, Seth has said that he'll be focusing more on making films again in the future. And if this first season of the studio is any indication, then I have no doubt that this next era of Seth Rogen will be his best yet. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know how you're liking the studio down in the comments. I took a few months away from this channel to focus on my main channel, Def Goldblum, but I'm coming back here. Might not be as consistent as the once every month thing I was doing before, but I'll definitely be popping over here whenever I get inspired to write something and make a video to put people on to something great that I've seen recently. I have a couple cool videos planned for the rest of the year, most notably my full ranking of all the John Carpenter films, so be on the lookout for that in a couple months. And as always, I got a lot more headed your way, so stay tuned, stay safe, and stay Def. Thanks for watching.